And whoever's not dead or Republican, because the whole earth is now shithole countries. Here's why both these redemptions are garbage. Everyone's underground. A new beginning for mankind. And the dream killer girlfriend. Hey there, movie maniacs. The Midnight Sky. It's indecisive on whether to be a human drama set in space or a science fiction film loaded with human drama. It ends up sacrificing both genres to George Clooney's beard. A worldwide catastrophe has made the Earth's surface uninhabitable. Something to do with Republicans blocking climate change legislation, I'm guessing. And whoever's not dead or Republican is fleeing to underground bunkers. As his scientific Arctic outpost evacuates, Augustine, George Clooney, an astrophysicist dying of cancer, decides to stay. He finds purpose when he realizes he must signal a returning spaceship from one of Jupiter's moons to tell the crew they can't land because the whole Earth is now shithole countries. In the process, Augustine finds redemption for his lonely life, caring for a young mute girl named Iris left behind during the evacuation, and the crew of the spaceship finds that the habitable moon they just explored will be their salvation. Here's why both these redemptions are garbage. The Midnight Sky is inspired by Lily Brooks-Dalton's book Good Morning Midnight, which is a study of loss and regret. In the movie, screenwriter Mark L. Smith allows the protagonist to find a spiritual redemption, but the bigger picture here is there's no redemption for the human species if the Earth's only interstellar spaceship is turned back around to Jupiter with only 2 humans on board. I gotta say though, Clooney does an exceptional acting job. Bearded like Santa Claus on Christmas Eve, he looks and feels old, showing off his tragic face number 3 all the way to tragic face number 9. He's got the movie cancer, which makes him cough sometimes and throw up neatly in the toilet. And his waking up scenes sell his dishevelment. We learn the importance of waking up scenes from Tony Soprano to make us feel the question, why am I still here? On board the Jupiter ship called Ether, this film rewrites all the book's characters, writing Felicity Jones's real-life pregnancy into her character Sully, and making her married to the captain, David Oyelowo as Adewale. Try saying that 3 times. There's Kyle Chandler as the something space guy, Demian Bichir as the other something space guy. Who knows what these guys do on board? And Tiffany Boone as Maya. Their mission was to reconnoiter a Jupiter moon called K23 that Augustine himself discovered might harbor life. They're bringing back confirmation he was right. The movie doesn't quite successfully flit back and forth between the crew on board the spaceship and Augustine's life at the outpost. And it further dilutes our interest when it flashbacks to young Augustine, Ethan Peck, and the woman who shared his bed, Sophie Rundle. Young Augustine is indifferent while his girlfriend nags that while he tries to find life on other worlds, his own life is slipping away. It's that old axiom that seems like it's true, but it's not. It's just another trope of the dedicated scientist and the dream killer girlfriend. What she means is her life is slipping away, bothering him to pay more attention to her, while he is using his life to its fullest potential. She tells him tearfully she is not pregnant. He is serene about it, which only makes her weep harder. High maintenance. Later, after they've separated, from afar he sees she has a daughter. He knows he dodged a bullet, only to have it come back at him with the screenplay. Oh, I get it. The little girl is the surrogate daughter he never met. And she's also the device that allows him to explain his plans out loud. We have to get to a bigger antenna. You mean we have to get to bigger human drama? In space, it seems that writers can't come up with anything other than meteor showers as adversity. So, unless space debris is used in starkly new visual ways, like in Gravity or the new Lost in Space series, it ends up just the same old boogeyman. There's the spacewalk to fix the antenna, and during the spacewalk, more unoriginality, I mean more debris, while they're on EVA. See, you've heard all these tropes before. After the debris storm, like Arnold, Maya discovers she's bleeding inside her suit. Instead of rushing her inside the ship, they have a dramatic moment outside first, because Earth might not be able to hear them, but Oscar is always listening. And it's the same unoriginal baloney with Augustine trekking through the Arctic wasteland. He and Iris discover a plane wreck, escape a sinking ice floe, caught in a snowstorm, Arctic wolves. Stop me if I say anything original. Clooney is also director. I commend him for his style and elegance through each vignette. The cinematography is beautiful to look at, and I especially like the interior of the ship, crafted like the pneumatized bones of birds with crisscrossing struts for strength and stability. Problem is, it also falls to the director to stitch all this beauty together into a cohesive narrative. Whenever Clooney switches between vignettes, we live in them so long we forget where we are. Even when Augustine makes contact with Heather, intertwining their fates, the stakes are so amorphous, we still feel like someone has cut out tether and we're just adrift between Jupiter and give a shit. You'd think the first thing Augustine would tell Heather is the science behind the planet-wide catastrophe. Instead, he opens with,
I'm afraid we didn't do a very good job of looking after the place while you were away.
Really? Jesus Christ, they're astronauts, not landlords. They need the atmospheric and ground-based logistics so as to work the problem. This is not the time for rhetoric. Here's the annoying part. Sully asks him, do you have information on the transmission blackout? And he does answer, but we, the audience, don't get to hear the technical talk due to him cutting out with static. But in reality, the filmmakers are keeping this information from us because they don't want it to intrude on the human emotion bullshit. Even Sully talks in riddles. Maya suffered an accident during the flight. Tell him she's dead. He's a technician, not a priest. This is what I mean by the human drama intruding on the science fiction. Kyle, the space whatever. Really, who knows what these guys do on their ship, unless you got the lead sheet from the movie studio. Anyway, Kyle, the space whatever, views Earth from a satellite. It's covered in yellow, icky stuff. And Augustine advises the Heather to slingshot back to K-23. Then the astronauts on the ship use civilian language to explain it to each other because apparently some of them didn't finish astronaut school. Kyle and Demian, the other space whatever, take one of the landers to return to Earth, while pregnant Sully and her captain return to K-23. But if two of these guys can make it back to Earth, why not all of them? They're not implying it's a suicide mission. They're going back to A, find Kyle's family, and B, return dead Maya to her homeland. But has anyone considered these two giant tasks? First, they're gonna land in the water, and without a pickup from NASA, how do they get to shore? This isn't a boat, it's got no paddles. Also, the Earth is toxic, so obviously they've got to wear their suits as if they're on an alien planet, which means they've got to have their own supply of food and water. Then Kyle takes off for his family in a bunker somewhere. How? In a stolen car? Leaving Demian to drag Maya's casket to her home by himself? Where is her home? Everyone's underground. Is he also going to steal a car, or is he going to call Uber? When survival is paramount, is it really worth all this effort, guys? Now, I understand the midnight sky is dealing in symbolism, and that these two returning to Earth symbolize hope. But hope is oversold as something real when it's actually the absence of something real. And the spaceship symbolizes a new beginning for mankind. But how do you restart the human race with 2 people and a baby? Are Sully and her husband planning on incesting their children to start society again? They're all gonna die up there. So why not land on Earth and maybe give your kid the chance to spawn another generation with someone in a bunker? Another generation who might find a way to get an actual society up to K-23 in that last ever solar system spaceship. In making the movie symbolic, they've pared down the roles and dialogue and science to its barest bones. In doing so, sacrificing science for insufferable Oscar moments. As he gazes at the midnight sky, knowing Heather is leaving, Augustine at last realizes that Sully is his daughter Iris, and that his mute Iris is an hallucination. It's implied that Augustine has subsumed his loneliness all these years in never having met her, and is at least redeemed in being able to save her from Earth's Republicans. But if he didn't spend his life researching K-23, he would never have been able to save her life this way, which means the high-maintenance girlfriend was wrong. His life didn't slip away. He found life on other worlds to give life to his daughter. See? You were sad that he wasted his life without his daughter, but now you're weeping for the opposite beautiful reason, that his life did have meaning. In the end, The Midnight Sky, it'll appeal to weepy romanticists, but it only holds a lot of potential as a great science fiction tale, and potential is also the absence of something real. Cheers. Hey, thanks for visiting Dunmore's Movie Mania. Before the global catastrophe, get down there and subscribe, like, comment, and we'd really appreciate if you could become a Patreon or make a one-off donation on PayPal or Venmo to support the channel. And I'll see you on the next Orbit, Movie Maniacs.